Good morning. How y'all feeling out there? I'm Omi Bell. I'm here with my co-host Takia Ross.
Good morning.
How you feeling this morning?
Listen, I'm trying to still fighting with the jet lag. I don't know
Oh, that's right.
when does it end? That's what I'm trying to figure out. When do you get yourself back into a rhythm?
Yeah, Takia just got back from South Korea, from Seoul, and so she just catching her bearings and figuring it out.
Listen, I can't get myself together to save my life. Only this is real life. How long does it
Doesn't
take?
like how long is it? Well, the thing about it is, so I don't know. I have a theory, but I could be wrong because I
Okay.
mean, this ain't my lane of expertise. However,
Mm-hmm.
I do think that remembering what day your body trying to remember what day it's on when you have a full 12 hours. So one, I do prefer a full over 4 hours. I prefer over 4 hours. Give me a
Mm-hmm.
6 hour time difference, give me a 12-hour time difference. I do
Mm-hmm.
prefer that. But your body trying to, because I feel like coming back from a 3 hour, it feels like you got a headache. Like your
Mm-hmm.
brain can't. It's like a minute ago, I just got used to being on a different time zone. Now I got to come over here. My brain is like, what the heck is happening? Is it 9 o'clock? Is it 6 o'clock? You know what I'm saying? Like that. Yeah. But when you on a 12 hour, it's a whole like daytime or nighttime that your body
Mm-hmm.
used on. You need a whole like 24 hours of doing nothing. I feel like.
Oh, I didn't get that.
Oh no, who does? I mean, I don't know. I mean, you know what I mean? Like
I didn't get that.
I'm not saying that we be doing that, you know what I'm saying? But I do feel like a full 24-hour reset is required in order to really like if you want to get it done quick.
I didn't get that. I didn't get that. And so like I literally, my body has no clue what day, because it's not the time that's get me, it's the day. Like I have no clue because when I was there and it was day here, it was night there. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
so now I'm sitting here like, wait, where we? Where we? But I'm getting there. I'm getting back together. I'm getting my life in order. I can't be down out like this. I can't.
Mm-mm.
I can't.
And
I
you'll
got me.
bounce back. That's the other thing too, is like you'll bounce back like before you know it and you didn't even know it. You know what I'm saying? And you be like,
Yeah.
oh, actually, like it's not gonna gradually come. You're gonna like wake up and be like, okay, now I'm back on East Coast time.
Sheesh.
I think too, like, I don't know about you, but like if I just stay in bed, like let's say if I get to a certain level of tired, if I just stay in bed, it's like after I wake, I could feel my life force coming back. Like if I just sleep,
Mm.
sleep, sleep, get up, sleep, get up, sleep. But you gotta like be in that bed. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You can't be trying to do both. You gotta really stay laying down.
Really, I
Yeah.
find that if I get like I have to get up, but I can't go anywhere. You understand what I'm saying? Like I need to get
Mm,
up, but I need to just kind of putt around the house. You know what I mean? Like I gotta
mm,
start picking up my things, touching my things. I can feel myself like, okay, this is working. This is getting like I'm
mm.
okay. All right, we got this. But it was like coming back and hitting the ground running. Like it's like you came back and it was just like and you're off. And it's called motherhood.
Well, there's that. I mean, listen.
I like that one. Well, there's that.
And what was supposed to do with that? You know what I
I
mean?
don't know
Like
what was.
and especially at this level where like you got what a middle school is James in high school yet?
He graduates this next week. He graduates.
OMG. You about to go to high school. That's
Yes.
crazy.
So it's just, and then people don't talk to you. I mean, me and you have talked about this a lot. We've talked about being entrepreneurs and moms, you know what I mean? And single moms, right? Like all of the jazz. But what nobody talks to you about is your adults don't really be adults. They're called cadults. They're called cadults. They want to adult, but they still kids.
I keep saying this. Somebody needs to create a support group for parents of adult kids. And that could include my mom being in one. You see what I'm saying? Like she might need one.
My
But
mom.
because nobody talks to you about this part, we concentrate so much on adolescent development. Well, what the heck? What is the name of the age between 18 and 24? And then when they get to 27, and then when they almost 30, and you like, bruh, what are you? And it's like, and then let's take that and plant that into the today's world.
Mm-hmm.
It's different from the world that we grew up in, and different from the world of like, you gotta let's get it. You know, I walked 10,000 miles in the snow with no shoes, and you complain about a jacket. You know what I mean? Like that level of thing got lost somewhere in a generational shifts. And so it's like we need to be having conversations about finance with them, and conversations that maybe we didn't have.
Yeah.
We're able to have, or nobody had with us. Luckily my mom is an accountant, so she was always on us about like tracking.
Mm-hmm.
But I always tell people too, like accountants are not necessarily money managers, right? Like they're money trackers. Like that is their job. So like I was tracking the dollars. I ain't had no dollars. You know what I'm saying? I ain't had no money. But you know, she'd be like, what did you do with this dollar? And I'm like, like, did you write it down like this? Did you do that? Then I'm like, okay, so that did plant inside of my head.
Mm-hmm.
Around finance. And so we have today, I'm excited for our first guest. Okay. Is Adrienne Blanco. She's a CPA. Hello, because tax season, we just passed.
And as soon as you said I'm excited, I knew it had to do with money. I knew it, and that's why I went straight into good. Adrienne, you ain't even up here. You ain't even up here yet.
I'm just saying, we need to have some conversations. Adrienne Blanco is a CPA. She is the founder and CEO of Blanco Accounting Services, LLC, providing tax accounting advisory and fractional CFO services to entrepreneurs and nonprofit organizations. A CPA since 2002 with over 3 decades of accounting experience. She is also the CFO for BGV, keeping us accountable, keeping us, rocking and rolling. So coming to the stage, I want to welcome Adrienne.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
I knew it.
Welcome.
I love the conversation y'all were having because I am a mom of an adult, an adult that's older than your kids. So it gets better. Just it does. They get it. If you did it right, if you laid the foundation, they get it, and one day you'll go, oh yeah, they did. They were listening, and they get it. So just hang in there, because my son's 34. So just hang in there, and then one day it'll go, oh, he listened. Okay.
Adrienne, I should have called you, girl. I should have called you because I got that boy. I started off with 2 girls. You know what I mean? And then that boy is bringing up the rear. He's coming in, and he's coming in hot. Okay, he's coming in hot. But thank you for that, because I need it, girl, because I'm out here fighting for my life.
It's okay.
I'm telling you. I don't know. Do you have some noise in your background?
Do you hear noise on my end?
Where's the echo? I think that's what it is. I think it's the echo.
I'm not sure how to fix it. The AC is running, so I'm not sure how to fix it.
Oh, maybe that might be it. Okay, cool.
Sorry about that.
It's not too bad, but like if we're talking, maybe when you're not talking, maybe hit mute, and that might help back and forth. But then that means you got to remember the mute button back and forth. You know what I mean? Like the mute button became a challenge. You see what I'm saying? Like through the pandemic, the mute button became something that we didn't think we was gonna have to deal with. You know, it became like, everybody's like, oh, you on mute. How many times, if we had $1 for the number of times in a meeting during the pandemic that somebody had to say, you're on mute, we could solve world hunger. I think we could figure it out.
I agree.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I got it. Go ahead.
All right. So being a CPA. So first can you just, people may know this already, but I just want to add some context. The difference between just an accountant or a bookkeeper and a CPA, right? And like, let's first go over sort of like definitions, like accountant, bookkeeper, and then CPA. Because I think people wonder a lot of times, like, who do I need? Like in the beginning, the title accountant feels like it has so many pillars under it. So it's like, I'm a small business. Who do I need for what at what moment? I feel like it's where people get a little lost. So talk to us.
A CPA is a certified public accountant. A bookkeeper, anyone can be a bookkeeper. No training, there's no certification, there's no certificate, class, anything. Anybody could be a bookkeeper, recording transactions, period. Accountant, anybody could really be an accountant, but most accountants, you can get a degree in accounting, undergraduate degree, a graduate degree. So there's a little bit more in-depth analysis and services that they can provide out in addition to just categorizing transactions. A CPA is a person who has a bachelor's degree, 150 hours of college education. So most of them will have a master's degree as well. Plus they've gone through extensive training and had to pass a test that was a bear that includes tax accounting, government accounting, and 2 sections of financial accounting. When I took it back in the day, it was pencil, paper, calculator with just the numbers and the symbols on it in a room, 8 hours a day for 2 days, right? That's how I took it. And you had to pass all of the parts. And even if you passed one part and didn't pass the other 3 parts, you only got credit for the part that you passed if your score was a certain amount in the parts that you didn't pass. So it was a bear. Now it's all online. You can take one part at a time. I say that very loosely because I have a little attitude about it. You can take one part at a time and take your time doing it, all the things. But what I think really separates a CPA from an accountant, there is required continuing education. We have to take 40 hours of continuing education each year, which is a lot. So you're not just learning. I'm not just doing something that I learned 20 years, 30 years ago in college. If this is something, it's ongoing education. So I'm staying on top of the tax code. I'm staying on top of accounting regulations. So it's something that I'm actually required to do on an annual basis. And if I don't, I lose my license.
Okay. Go ahead, Sakia.
I was about to say, as we think about this, because that's one of the areas, especially as an entrepreneur, you're not quite sure who you need, right? You need somebody, but you just don't know who the somebody is, right? I know that. And a lot of times they'll tell you to get QuickBooks, get a system. And it's just like, okay, but I still don't necessarily understand. I'm not a trained, I don't understand what these forms and, what it's saying to me. So can you tell us, as you think about, as entrepreneurs are thinking about, I need somebody to help with these finances, how to utilize the different, do I need to get a CPA? Do I need to get a bookkeeper? Do I need both? Do I need a CPA, a bookkeeper, and a QuickBooks? You know what I mean? How do we manage that?
So it all depends. Of course, I'm gonna say start with a CPA. As a founder, you may say, I cannot afford that. You may be able to afford it. You may think you can't afford it, but you may actually be able to afford a CPA that provides the services that you need. On this other spectrum, you do need you need a system. I work QuickBooks Online works, but QuickBooks as a founder, QuickBooks is not what you do. Accounting is not what you do. So you need a bookkeeper or an accountant to do that, whether you engage that person on a monthly level, on a monthly basis, or quarterly basis, on a 6-month basis. So depending on what your finances allow. Of course, I'm going to say CPA monthly basis, monthly services, and go down from there. But you can't do it on your own. Full stop. It's not what you do. There's certain things I know for a fact I can't do on my own. I have to hire somebody to do it. I have to outsource that because you know what? That's not what I do. Sales, that's not what I do. I use LinkedIn Sales Navigator to help me, support me in the areas that I know that's not what I do. So QuickBooks Online, I would definitely say, and search around for accountants. Ask people. A lot of my clients come from referrals. Ask around, interview. I start doing digital coffees, 15 minutes. If you find my name somewhere, let's chat for 15 minutes. Let's see if I'm a match. Let's see if I want to work with you. Let's see if you want to work with me. 15-minute conversations. Find somebody, have a conversation. If you think the level of services that they can provide for you is sufficient and it's within your expense, you can afford it, go ahead. Along the line, if it doesn't work, get somebody else. But you need that expertise. You definitely need the expertise because you don't want to get caught up in any tax issues. It's easy to form a business. It's easy to start working and doing what you do, but you want to make sure your finances are in order, not just so you can pay your taxes or those type of things, but so you can use those financial reports for decision making. You look at the numbers are just not numbers. A bookkeeper is just going to give you the numbers. Me as a CPA, I'm going to take those numbers, look at those numbers, and make some recommendations. Okay, your costs in whatever cost that's too high. Do you need to have a storefront? Is it okay for you to do this virtual and still bring in the same amount of revenue, or does it benefit you to justify the cost to have a storefront? So a CPA, I'll look at that on a deeper level, not just the numbers, but providing the information so you can make the decisions.
And so when in this interview, like when you're interviewing the person, right, what kind of things should you ask for? Because I think like when you're in the beginning and maybe you're just what's happening in those every month services that you're paying for at different moments, right? It is a lot of tracking, and maybe you're not up for taxes, ready for tax. Like I think a lot of people are like they go to the CPA when it's close to tax time, and then the rest of the time they have maybe a bookkeeper or an accountant kind of just keeping track. So I'm curious around like how should people think about like if I'm sitting down in my 15-minute meeting, what am I trying to understand that will help me make a decision around hiring a person?
My first question to each person is, what is your biggest pain point around finances as it relates to your business? What is your biggest pain point? Then you want to ask me, what type of services do I provide? How on hands am I? How often can we meet? How often can you reach out? What am I actually going to give you? Some people, I just bookkeeping. You just want somebody to go into your QuickBooks and categorize your information and give you those financial reports. That's all you need. Got you. That's all you could afford. Got you. And again, I keep saying like that's all you can afford because don't do something that you can't afford. That's not going to be beneficial.
No, I think I'm glad you're making that point because I think people sometimes go all or nothing. I need a CPA and I got to wait till I get the money up. You know what I mean? Like I need because this one gave me a quote for $3,500 a month, and I got to make sure you know what I mean? It's like, hey, like you still need this. You know what I mean? You just need to figure out what level you can afford it on. Go ahead, Taki.
No, I was gonna say I actually was gonna say I'm people. I was gonna say because honestly, like when you think about it, like as you start to when you're out here trying to manage your finances, yourself, it's just kind of like, oh my God, I know I need help, but I don't know what kind of help I need. Right. And it can become daunting. Right. And, when you're going through the process of, I started this business, we're bringing in money, I got the QuickBooks keep knocking my accounts out of the thing. Adrienne, you know what I'm talking about. They keep unlinking the account every time I turn around is unlinked, and so it does become daunting, and then you find yourself behind, right, in your finances. And so when we think about that, like if you are behind, and then you're discouraged, right? Like, oh my goodness, like I'm behind, I haven't done it, I haven't reconciled, in months, like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. So what would you say to the entrepreneur that might be a little bit behind, right? Like that's just kind of like, I don't want to do this, like I can't keep up.
You got to start. That's what I'll say. And no judgment. That is, I met with someone yesterday and she was like, I'm like, no judgment. You're where you're at. And we can't change where you're at. But let's see what's the step forward. What's the path forward? Every CPA is not created equal. Every CPA does not do taxes. Every CPA does not do audits. Every CPA does not do bookkeeping or accounting. So find that person. Start with it all starts with a conversation. You can't do it. Find somebody, have a conversation. If they can do what you need to be done, then that's who you engage with. If they can't, you move on, find somebody else. Ask your friends, who are you using? What services, who are you using for your stuff? And don't ever feel guilty about being behind, because everybody gets behind. Everybody's got something. And if we hide from it, that's when nothing's going to come of that. It's just going to get worse. So, and this is on my calendar for May. My focus in May was do the hard things. So sometimes we just have to do the hard things. And it's never going to be as hard as we think it is once we do it. Have the conversation to get started. It's not, if you can't do it on a monthly basis, do it on a quarterly basis. Have someone look at your finances on a quarterly basis. Have someone look at it on 6 months. And I'm big. I taught accounting in college. So I'm big on education. My clients that I work with, I'm not going to just, even the bookkeeping clients, I'm not just going to do your books. I'm going to walk you through it, explain to you so you can know what it means. Because at the end of the day, if the government or whoever is coming to look at your stuff, they're not going to ask me. They're going to ask you because you're responsible. So I want to make sure you are informed. If you're my client, I want to make sure you are informed to get what you need. Just start the conversation to get.
I think too, that brings me to one of the things to look for in this interview with somebody that you want to potentially hire as an accountant or CPA and to help you manage your finances is, do you feel like there are going to be places where maybe you feel the shame on your own, but is this person making you feel comfortable too? Right? Like, I think like it's important to note that like the person that you want to work with monthly is not necessarily the person that you want being like, what? Here you go again. You know what I mean? Like, you don't necessarily, you need that. You might need that. But I'm just saying, but ultimately, you don't want the person looking over their glasses at you, like, shaking a finger. It's like, so think about the people that you want to work with in that sense. Whereas like when you talk to them, you got the space to always think about personality fit. Right? Personality fit is a thing. I mean, that's whether you hire employees, that's whether whoever you hire, contractors, personality fit, culture fit, like those things also matter. So I would say, like, as people are thinking, how the way that people make you feel comfortable and are willing to walk you through and willing to let you ask questions when you may feel a little bit nervous, like, I think all that's important.
It is. And you still have to follow the rules. But again, there's no, I feel like I've been leading with this more and more often than not. There's no shame. There's no shame. Just give it to me. Just spill it. At this point, just spill it. Either I can fix it or I cannot fix it. Just spill it. No shame. And if there's an ongoing relationship where we're working, I can be firm. I can be firm and direct. But there's still no shame. There's no shame. Because this is not something that we were taught. This is not something, for the most part, I wasn't taught how to handle finances as a founder. I'm a first generation founder. So these things aren't innate. My parents had jobs. My parents were not business owners. My friends' parents were not business owners. So I don't necessarily know how to do this. So I don't expect you to know how to do this. It's something that you have to learn. And I'm willing to teach it. And you want to find somebody who's willing to give you what you need. How you need it actually is important as well. How you need it, where you can receive it. Because if they're giving it to you in a way that you can't receive it or apply it, then it's a waste of time.
That's really good because I think, I think too, a lot of times that shame, or that discomfort, like you're already uncomfortable, because a lot of times founders are not necessarily good with money. I'm good with spending money. You know what I mean? Like I'm real good with spending money, but I'm not good with money. And then it's just kind of like you have these goals, but you don't know how to get there. Right. And so I think having what you said is really, really good, is just having somebody with you that will talk you through the process, of what you're looking at. Right. Because I think, and Omi, I know that you know this, like we assume that people know. right? We assume in the ecosystem, right? When you're dealing with founders, a lot of times people assume that you know. People assume that you know about your profit and loss statements, and you know what I mean, like all of these things, and you're sitting there like a who? Yeah, like what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not quite sure. Go ahead.
I'm glad you said that. I actually did an accelerator session last week, and that's where I start. You know, people assume that you know what's a profit. Okay, so you may have heard the word profit and loss statement, but you don't know what. And then they say, okay, well, revenue and expenses are in there, but what's an expense or what? So I start there. When somebody said they need your financial statements, you don't have to go, well, what are they talking about? I'm afraid to even ask what that even means. Yeah, here's what they need: a profit and loss statement. They need a balance sheet. They need a statement of cash flow. This is what they need. So these are things that people think you know because you're in business, but you don't know. I actually do a Lunch with a CPA 4-part series online, 30 minutes, where I just base free. Pop in. Here's this stuff that you need to know, that you're afraid to ask, and you assume that you do know because you don't. And there's no reason that you there is no reason that you even should know, because nobody told you. Nobody, it wasn't expected for you to know. But I'll tell you.
I love that. See, you done made my heart smile because it does, because it's when you give people permission to be like, there is no reason that you should know. You just set somebody free, right? Because it's just kind of like they've been walking around carrying that burden, like, I'm supposed to know this, like, I'm supposed to know this. And it's just like when you say you're not. And then too, I always talk about financial language sometimes feeling like somebody's speaking in a different tongue. Like, I know this is English. I know you're talking English to me. These words put together don't make sense. Don't make sense. So as we think about this, and as we think about furthering our education as founders, like, what would you say, like, hey, if you want to invest in, like, I love your course. Like, you know, you might see me at your next one. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm out here like, I need to know. But where would you say like an investment might be for, like, hey, I need to get some, you know, more education. Like, I don't want to go back and get an MBA. I don't want to go back, you know, but I do want to get some, you know, some fundamental information about accounting. So I feel like, or I can speak intelligently when I am talking to somebody.
Your local community college may offer a course that you can take. Community college is going to be convenient. You can do them virtual, inexpensive, and sometimes they just have them where you could order the course. But it's just getting, like you said, that language, because I know what I know, but what I don't know, I don't know. If I don't know something, I'm clueless about it, right? I don't know what those words, that's like not even English. So I would say start there with the community college, or even your local SBA chapter may have something that they offer, or Lunch with a CPA that I offer. Or you can follow me on socials. I drop those little tidbits on my Instagram, like your estimated quarterly tax payments are due June 15th, right? So those things that somebody may not be in your ear telling you because you haven't engaged with the CPA, but you're responsible for. So I just drop little stuff like that on my Instagram, on my website. There's a blog that just drops just basic information. It's here. Have that. Read that. Put that in your toolbox.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks so much for coming. Okay, so real quick though, before you go, because we got CPA, accountant, and then we have the fractional CFO part. I want to talk about the chief financial officer piece of this. So CFO, chief financial officer. Because a lot of times when people are raising money in their startups, like, the investors expect for you to have a CFO relationship of some sort. And I have been through different CFO relationships. So first I had a fractional one that really wasn't doing nothing, to be honest. Like, I ended up asking for a refund at the end of the day because they were a tax firm. They were an accounting firm with fractional CFO services. And he was barely reviewing reports. Like, it was just like, dude, what are you doing for real? And I'm like, you know, it was a waste of my money. So let them go. Then I'm like, ooh, I need a full-time CFO, like somebody that could really get in here with me, and I needed someone that was going to be willing to sort of like do some of the fundraising and talk and all that. And then I had a full-time CFO join. And actually, that was a decent experience. I think eventually the person I hired, the level of expertise that I needed, I just didn't see eventually. But I mean, like, I felt like it was a good hire. So I eventually needed to let him go just because just the level of expertise he wasn't evolving at some point, we needed to chill on. But still great experience, great person, all that. And then we have fractional services with you. And I feel so much more informed. Also, like, like somebody got my back on analysis. And that's what I'm always leaning into. Like, what's the analysis of it all? Like, there is the, like, we got it tracked. We got it. Everything is here, 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 here. But like, got that. But like, what does it all mean? Now that I got it all tracked, we need to make, so again, to your point, decision making. I need information I can make decisions based off of. So what is that slight difference between like monthly CPA, accounting services, to actual like fractional CFO? And for those out there, what does fractional mean? So fractional is a version of hiring that is contracting, but you're contracting people with higher levels of expertise, and they're working for a fraction of their time, basically, is the idea behind it. It is a contract relationship, but the way it works is that instead of having somebody full-time, full 40 hours a week, even though like I feel like you work for us almost full-time basically, but tell us about that difference between like CPA, monthly accounting, that kind of thing, to the CFO.
So the monthly accounting, you're going to get the reporting and a little bit of analysis. Reporting, variance analysis, that's it. A fractional CFO, you get that next level of analysis, communication, treasury support, cash management, because a fractional CFO is going to be specific to those areas. Ideally, that organization will have a team that's handling the accounting, the day-to-day stuff, and they got that on lock. So that fractional CFO will review that oversight of that team and see what, make sure all of that is in order. But then there's that extra connection to the CEO or to the management team as far as analysis for decision making and handling those type of things. The relationship with the CPA firm, if you have another firm that's doing your audit or something, someone who has that relationship, can create that relationship and serve as the intermediary between the CEO and the CEO and the audit firm. So you want somebody who can talk the language and translate what they're saying to you so it makes sense. So I think that's the fractional CFO piece. And just having that.
I was because the kid was looking at the screen, so I didn't know if she was about to say.
Oh no, I was your friend, because I was thinking hard. Would you see? That was me thinking hard, because I'm trying to figure out who I need. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm out here like, oh.
So have the conversation. Remember we said you just have to have the conversation, because you don't know exactly what you need right now. So you have the conversation, even if somebody can come in and
something happened with the audio.
Can you hear me?
Wait, I can hear you, but I don't know, Takia, can you hear it? Yeah, it's like a little buzz. I don't know what's going on. That's the ancestors showing up every time.
So wait, I'm
gonna go on mute. Takia, go on mute.
Okay. So Takia, you might need a financial 360 where somebody just comes in, looks at your finances overall and makes recommendations. But you need this, this, and this. Now, either you can do it, you can hire somebody, you hire me to do it, or you can hire somebody else to do it. But I've looked at all, you give them access to all your stuff. They give you your report back saying you need this, this, and this. So you don't have to figure out, what do I need? You can engage somebody or contract a CPA to look at your stuff to tell you what you need. And then they can tell you, you can do it, I can do it, and you can get somebody else to do it, but this is what you need.
See, now you done introduced something new to me. A 360.
Yeah. So because you kept saying you don't know what you need. I don't know what I need. I don't know where to start. So that's an option as well for those founders who don't know what they need, who don't know what, and you may not necessarily be ready to engage someone on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis. But how about you make an investment into getting the information from having them take a look so you can know what you need and know what to do moving forward. Whether you engage with that person, you do it yourself, or you get someone else to do it, you'll have the information.
That's good. That's good. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate this. This was great.
Thank you so much. It's been fun. I enjoyed it. I love this
Yeah.
kind of conversation. Just, information.
Yeah. We need spaces to ask just questions and be like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I think that's the thing. Like, why many spaces can you just be like, hey, honestly, I look cute, but I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So,
I like that one.
so
That's
we
what I like.
appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Y'all have a great day.
All right.
You too.
I think, one of the things that I really love about her and the way she does her work is the sort of like, let's just figure it out together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
together.
that. I absolutely love that, because a lot of times you have like some of it, like you have some of it, right? So you're doing some of the good work, right? So you got your QuickBooks, you paying for that for the year. You know what I mean? You're going in, you're doing little things, and you think, and it's just kind of like, but now what? Like I got the QuickBooks, I didn't put the stuff in there. I've been putting people, but I don't necessarily, I can read the report as best I can with the information that I have. But I would love to get somebody else's eyes on it. Like, if you were to see this report, what would it say to you? Because it says something different to me when I look at it, right? Like to me, I'm like, girl, you need to make more money. You know what I mean? You might look at it and be like, girl, you need to decrease your expenses. You know what I mean? Like, girl.
Right. And you know what? That's the thing. I think we look at everything like, girl, you need to make more money. Mm-hmm. Like, every time you look at it, you're like, I just need to make more money. It's like, it's like, I need to raise more money. I need to make more money. More. It's like, and people think that more money is always the answer to the thing. Mm-hmm. I need more money. You know what it is? Because I don't got enough money. You know what it is? Because ain't nobody giving me no money. Because people ain't giving it. It's like, hey, I don't exactly know that the answer is there. Don't get me wrong. Everybody, here's the other thing that people don't understand. Everybody at every level is having financial challenges of some sort. And when I say, but the challenges is a little different, right? Mm-hmm. So for a billionaire, millionaire, thousandaire, hundredaire, right? Everybody's just looking different, right? So for some people, it's certain levels of taxes. For some people, they got to move some money around a certain way. Their investment didn't go well. They're like some investment in a property is sinking. Something like, or down to, I'm overspending on subscriptions.
Don't.
Down to like, what is this charge that keeps popping up every month? And I'm not even going to this place using this thing. What is that? Like, so, and every time the answer for it, because we live in a capitalist society, I think for everybody at every level, and this is where we get like upset with people like we perceive as like they got money. So why because they got money, right? It's like everybody thinks they need more money. I know that's hard to believe, but everybody's like, we need more for the most part. And this is a sweeping generalization, but if you look at the challenges that we continue to talk about in different realms, whether it is, looking at politics and looking at people just like, well, why do they actually need to go to space? Why they need that kind of wedding though? Why we having a Met Gala in the middle of the war? Why, like, you know what I mean? Like, we asking these questions because the reality still exists that everybody's thinking we just need more money. Listen, if we just had more money, we could just, and the reality is that's not real.
And I think that it's having these conversations that really sheds light on some of the experiences that you're facing as an individual. And so a lot of times we don't talk about, right? And especially, I'm gonna throw it out there, especially Black women. Like, we don't talk about money as much as I wish we would, right? Like, and when I talk about money, I'm not just like, how much are you making? You know what I'm saying? Like, how did you get your contract to be, to be that high? Like, in the beauty space, I know for a minute it was us having conversations about how much to charge. Right. Like, because different people were charging different things, and it was just like, well, what's the baseline charge? Like, what is like, and so that was like a conversation as well. And a lot of times we shy away from, I don't say we don't, like, we shy away from that conversation. So I'm going to change that, because we are having it. It's just, it's kind of like we tiptoe into it, like, ooh.
Well, there's so much judgment around it. There's so much judgment around, you got money? Oh, you ain't got no money. Oh, you broke? Oh, you got money. Like, and then what are the signals of that, right?
Yeah.
Because I look like whatever, because you wear whatever, because you got whatever bag, oh, you got money. What I have started to observe as I go into different rooms of different people is, what are the actual true signals of wealth? And then thinking about, like, do I have them? You know what I mean? Because honestly, the wealthiest people that I've seen, there's certain brands that they wear. And it's not the flashiest ones. It really ain't the super flashy logo everywhere, Gucci'd out. Don't get me wrong. I mean, like, yeah, I think that is a thing. It feels like a pop culture thing. But sometimes it's the Gucci thing or the Louis Vuitton thing that, like, you will only know is that because you actually saw that magazine where that thing was there. Or you would only know it because, it's like, if you know, you know. And, they drive Teslas, some of them. You know what I mean? It ain't the rapper who got 15 foreign cars. And so where I live across from a foreign car storage. I live across from a place that stores foreign cars for wealthy people. And I watch the kind of cars that come out of there. And they don't drive these cars every day. They like these young dudes. They want to go take their car out for the weekend, and you'll see 5 of them pile out at once. You know what I'm saying? And then you won't ever see them come back out for like another month. And so I think it's like, really the idea of, like, people gotta act like they got money. I just wish we didn't have to do that anymore. Like, look good if you look good. If you feel like all them logos make you look good, then have at it. But I just really wish we can get to a place where, like, it wasn't about that anymore. It wasn't about having to. But also, okay, but let me be clear. There's also signals that you ain't got it. When you're in a room with people who really got it, there are signals that you ain't got it. And it's subtle. Sometimes it's a watch, right? And even the women are wearing watches. So it ain't even just like, oh, the men got whatever watch. The women wearing watches too. You know what I'm saying? So that's a thing. Another thing is, like, sometimes it can be your bag, depending. But bags are fleeting in a sense that, like, you can go get a good bag, but it's about the kind of bag and whether or not it's like if you know bag versus, like I said, versus a like some flashy bag. Then there's a, like, I want to put, there's a fit. It's not literally the kind or name brand of the clothing. It's a look to it that I really wish I could, like, explain. There's a cultural look to it where, like, ain't nobody in here gonna do this thing. That's not to say that you shouldn't do it, because then you have your anomalies. I know some very wealthy people who also can get radical. But I mean, like, there's something I wish I could really. I'm going to try to figure a way to describe it, because I feel like I see social media influencers and stuff like that who try to tell you, like, oh, if you're wealthy, be at this event, or like this is where all the wealthy people gonna be, or like here, these bags mean you might be broke or wealth. Like, but it ain't that. There's something to it. There's a fit to it that is weird, and it's kind of like, and they know it. And if you've been around it enough, then you know it. And
Is it less of a look and more of a don't laugh at me, because my immediate response was, it's called peace. Like,
I don't
it's
know, because
called,
some of them be anxious as hell.
yeah,
Like some
but
of
my
your,
thing is, but like for the most part, some of them are, you know, anxiety ridden or whatever, about whatever they're anxiety ridden about. But at a certain level of wealth is a certain level of peace. You know, some of and maybe I'm wrong, right? But
no,
because,
I think you're onto
yeah,
something.
it's just like because it's not necessarily a look more than it's an aura. Is the way that you kind of carry yourself a little bit. Sometimes when I've been in rooms, you know, it's just kind of like the way, and I get it, you know, where it's just like there's a certain level of peace that comes with, you know, I own my home and I'm not getting evicted. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a certain
And I'm
level
not
of
worried about
peace.
paying for it next month.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a certain level of peace that you carry with you when you, and so it kind of, and do you have worries? Absolutely. Absolutely, right? But it's just kind of like your worry is different, right? Like, so you're worrying, you know, yes, you're worried about, did that investment work? What is my business? You know what I'm saying? But if I'm going to eat, not necessarily, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
or how much my food is going to cost.
Yes, like
I think peace is one way to put it, but it's yes, I agree. So right now, if you're just joining us, you're watching the 30-Day Show. I'm here with my co-host Takia Ross, and we're talking about money this morning, right?
Oh.
And one of the things that I think about, like the look and feel of people who actually got money, and when you're in those rooms, there is a peace, but there is a natural flow of if you do have it, then you just will do the thing, right? I tell people, okay, look at it this way: TJ Maxx and Nordstrom are open to the public, right? Like, nobody's telling you can or cannot go into one of the other, and that's Ross. Ross is real big, I guess, they're everywhere. But I mean, like, you can go into either one you want to go into. And what I've seen, nobody come for me on this, but what I've seen is the reality of just making certain levels of money. You just don't go to certain places anymore. And that doesn't mean you won't go to them as a habit, but doesn't mean you won't go to them every now and then. So that doesn't mean that like no wealthy people go to Ross. It just means that you're making so much money at a certain point that you're like no longer, you start entering into other. And this is the interesting thing about like privilege and proximity that we don't talk about in terms of like people starting to be oblivious about other people's experiences, right? It's like just you have moved on to a certain place of living, and now you're no longer in touch with, if you were ever, because some people were never had to live that way, but you're no longer even in touch with certain realities, and your reality is now the reality. Therefore, you just sort of in your bubble of what reality means, and not even, and that's the crazy thing about living in LA, because on this block, it could be, you know, miles of mansions and super high level expensive homes. And then you could go on this block and it's a whole homeless encampment. And like the starkness of seeing that is just wild in a society that we live in. You know, it's like, yo, like this is a mansion right here. And then over here, people are, and I mean, like, no, you know, there's homelessness or unhoused people in multiple different states, but I think like the wealth disparity here is just so visually wild, right? Mm-hmm. And like you could ride down a block. You ride like one block, you're like, another block, you're like, oh. You're like, oh, like who lives over here? Like it's kind of wild to see. You know,
it is. It absolutely is. You know, we see that too. You know, and you lived in a DMV, like we see
it
all the time.
Baltimore
like,
is a good as
oh my goodness, like it's, you know, you turn a corner and you're like, well, that switched real quick, you know, and so we absolutely get it. I think too, as we have this conversation, like it's just kind of like, and you get to decide. Like as an individual, you get to decide what success looks like for you. You get to decide, you know, and it's okay either way. Like, it's okay if success
Yeah.
looks like every Louis bag that ever came out. That is absolutely amazing for you. Or it can look, like you're wearing the robe. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like it is and is. And so, like, as we have the conversation, recognize too that part of it is your understanding of yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what makes you happy? Like, what brings you joy? And you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times it's like, I love to see people who are just living fully in their joy. Like, whatever that looks like. Like, and you can tell those people where it's just kind of like, I am joyful. I love to see it. And, in every way that it come, quiet luxury, right? Because that's the one thing, that quiet luxury. But it's just kind of like, but do you love you? Like, is this joy? Like, if you walking around with your quiet luxury, and your fanciful watches and it's joy, baby, you are winning. But if you walking around with your Walmart bag and your, you know what I mean, and your thrifted outfit and you have joy, winning.
100%, I agree, because that's the thing that is not guaranteed on any level. It's not guaranteed. You could be millions and billions, have all the money, and to just be freaking unhappy.
Oh my God.
Right? We've seen it, right? Ugh. And then you see people could be in the hood and be the happiest ever.
Oh my
right?
God.
And a lot of people talk about growing up and not knowing that they were poor, because like they had so much joy. I mean, especially like when you talk about having so much family around, there's so much value at different levels of like understanding what is peace really. What trade-offs would you make?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, would you trade this, the way that you have this amazing relationship with your family? And nobody's asking you to do that, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know that I would trade it off for certain levels of wealth. I don't know that I would trade off certain ways that I grew up for certain levels of wealth. And that may sound crazy to people who live at certain levels of wealth. Yeah. I'm glad to have the experiences that I have now as an adult, and to be able to have my kid, I don't even know. That's the thing. I think about this a lot too. Like, I don't know if Skylar really understands the level of things that she's had access to. That's kind of wild. You know what I'm saying? Like, this kid is, riding first class, going to private clubs, going to private dinners, going to, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know anything. And, we're sitting at rooms and tables where, we're at a charity event and people just throwing out $25,000, $50,000, $100,000 a table. You know what I'm saying? Just we're sitting there and they're fundraising. The fundraising moment at a charity event. And I didn't have access. Like, the level of philanthropy that I knew about growing up was like, you donate at church or something. It wasn't like, you round up for St. Jude. Like, it wasn't understanding that you take large chunks of your money and give it away. So when it came to me being a nonprofit leader, I didn't even know what to ask for. I tell people, when I tell the story of like how I got into like 6-figure gifts and stuff like that, or learning how to fundraise at BGV, was just showing up. That's what I knew how to do. I knew how to show up, honey. You show up. You need me there. I'm there. Like, I'm good at showing up. I can show up. I'm gonna be in the room. I can do the dance. I can talk the talk. I can, you know what I mean? And I knew that, but did not know how to translate that into fundraising. So go ahead.
No, and my thing is, I think that's big on me, because I would love if you share, because a lot of people know how to show up in a moment. And even though you're talking about fundraising, you can even talk about sales. Like, if you're not a nonprofit leader, right? Like, I know how I show up too. I'm there. I'm at the place. I'm having a good, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like, how do you convert? Like, that's the thing. It's just like, you're in the room now, you have to convert. Like, and so you have to be intentional. And that's not necessarily a skill that some of us are comfortable with. Some of us know how to execute or implement. Sometimes these rooms can be overwhelming. Like, you're in, like, I mean, totally like, oh my goodness, one, how did I get in the room? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I've had those
what?
moments too. Well,
Like,
I look
damn.
around, I'm like, I can't even believe I'm in here.
Yeah.
You know, like I've had those moments where I'm like, you know, everybody here got 10 times the level of money I got. You know what I'm saying? I'm using this money as a marker at the moment, but I'm just saying, like, you know, and I'm in there like, child, they must like what I be having to say.
Yes.
Okay, because I didn't get in here because of my dollars.
Listen, I must have been cute that day to day.
You know what I'm saying? I'm real. They like friend. They think I'm friendly because I didn't get in here because of my money. You see what I'm saying? But that also goes to show that it's not all about that, right? Like some of the you know, people with money, they just want to be treated like regular people too. They want to be in on it. They want to know, like, you know what I mean? It's like, and the people who don't have money want to be in on it. It's like we're all kind of doing the same dance at the same level, just with different money in our pocket. And it's just a really interesting thing. So, but I want to go to the conversion part because this has been a thing for me. I said this yesterday. Good morning, Tiffany. Thank you for joining us. It was so good meeting you on Saturday. And Cassandra, I see you will bring up in a minute. When I first started, and what I did know was that showing up was a part of a skill set that I had, right? And it was the thing I could do because I didn't have any other thing. So I knew that if somebody gave me an opportunity to come to a room, I was going to come there and I was going to leave with 3 friends. Like that was always my thing. I'm in here and naturally for me. So I want to also be made that known. Like I wasn't in there faking it to get friends either. I just naturally am that person because I'm gonna talk to people. I'm gonna look you in the eye. I'm gonna ask you questions. And honestly, you know, my MO is I want to get vulnerable quick. So I'm not even talking to you about surface things. I'm asking people questions like, oh, what's top of mind for you these days? What do you believe in? What, like, I'm really getting like, oh, you got kids, you know, you taking care of elderly parents. Have you ever had to deal with that? Like, I'm really like, so if y'all see me in rooms, I'm not trying to have a what's the weather conversation. And don't feel like you have to. Don't like feel no shame in going for the juggler. All right. I was watching this social media post the other day. And this one was like, yeah, and I met this guy on a dating app. And then, you know, in our conversation, I was asking him light things like, what does he think about abortion? What does he think about LGBT rights? I'm like, geez, Louise, in a group chat. I mean, but hey, let's get to it. You know what I mean? Ain't no need in us wasting time. Okay. What do you, I said, I might have to take her up on that because I have LGBTQ. I identify as bi. My children identify as different things, LGBTQ wise. And I'm like, I might start just jumping right into that too in dating chats. But I'm saying all that to say, don't go ask people what they think about abortion rights at a networking event. I'm not advising that. But I am saying that like it's okay to go, how many siblings do you have? As an entry point of conversations. Or look at your life and know like you got a lot of siblings and it's typically a talking point. Use that. You're really close with your brother, use that. You know, your mom was an account, you know, what ask people things like, what was your childhood dream? What was your mom, what was your mom's profession when you were growing up? Like, it's just stuff like that to get deep. But anyway, okay. So what happened was I was showing up so much so that finally the funder was like, girl, when are you going to ask us for money? Because that's what you're supposed to do. And I guess the person that was my main connect realized that I didn't know that. So they were like, hey, can you come to this? Yeah, I'll come. Hey, when you get there, can we mic you up? Yeah, sure. Hey, would you mind leading a session? No problem. I wasn't asking for money. And I don't think they were using me. Like, I didn't feel that way. I know like sometimes it's like when you show up and you do things, you didn't get paid. Everybody's like, well, they should have paid you. But what? I got paid. Let me tell you guys something. For showing up, I got paid 10 times what I would have got. I ain't even going to say 10, more than 10, that I would have got paid just for saying, I need you to pay me for this session, for me to lead this, pay me to mic me up, pay me to, like, honestly, I wasn't even thinking that. I was just honored because they were such a big family office. I was just honored to be a part of it, to be honest. I was thinking of how I could leverage them without them even paying me. And I think that's what I'm always thinking about. How do I leverage every single thing? if I get press, that's why for real, the reason why y'all know me at all, is because if somebody say I like your shoes and they wrote it in a freaking on a press, you better believe I'm running that press like that's the best thing ever been said about me. I'm trying to do articles. I'm trying to do social media posts. I'm trying to make that piece of press stretch so far that y'all have no choice to either think I'm crazy or I must be on to something. You know what I'm saying? So I think like I was always thinking about how could I leverage the people too, not just what they could do, what I was getting out of it. So finally, they were like, girl, it's time for you to ask us for money. We know it's coming. That's what people do. That's what we're here for. So it's time. And I was like, oh, shoot. It made me sit back and reflect on all the times I had missed the moment to ask for money. Because people were asking me. So here's a clear indication. When somebody says, how can I be helpful? That particular phrase, how can I be helpful? Hear me out there, okay? That particular phrase is a framing to invite somebody into an opportunity to give you something higher level than you normally would ask for. Okay? How can I be helpful? Because what they're asking is not necessarily like, what do you need me to do? They're saying, how could my time, how could my investment, how could my money actually be helpful? Not like, how can I solve one of your problems in a way? Like there's a different kind of framing to that language because wealth has to invite you in. You can't force your way into it. You don't strong arm them to give you something. It invites you in. True wealth invites you to the table because they see something or they want to be helpful. And the reality is a lot of people who are wealthy want to be helpful because they got money. You know what I mean? So it's not like they can throw their money at whatever, but they throw their money at lots of things that's not helpful. They throw their money at things because their friends need them to. They throw their money at things because like it's just the thing that the family been doing and they just got to do it. They throw their money at a lot of things, but they want to be helpful. Now, criticize the wealthy however you want to, right? Like I'm not here caping for nobody. I'm just talking to y'all about the language of it all, right? Take it how you want to take it, but people want meaningful impact. This is my experience. Matter of fact, that's not even limited to my experience. I want y'all to know that regardless of whether or not you agree with how wealthy people impact, they want what they feel like is meaningful impact. Therefore, when they say, how can I be helpful? That's what they're asking you. How can I work with you to create meaningful impact? How can you give me an opportunity? How can you give me an opportunity to create meaningful impact? That's what that question means.
I have so many questions.
Go ahead.
Okay. No. I mean, we're gonna get to the thunder of it all. But one of the things that I do want to share with people who are listening, all of our business besties, is being prepared for the moment. Right. And oftentimes we like when somebody says, how can I be helpful? A lot of times we draw a blank. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like,
I was giving them volunteer opportunity.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just, or we do it, or we give them something that is not, you understand what I'm saying? That it's kind of surface level, like something that you can go on my website and, buy a product, right? You know what I'm saying? But it's just kind of like when you really have the opportunity to answer that question, have you given it enough thought, right, to be prepared for that? How can I be helpful, right? And so a lot of it, I know this is something that I'm doing right now, is really dissecting what help looks like in my business, right? So when you set this goal of being whatever you decide your business to be, when somebody does ask you, like, how can I help you? What do you need? Like, how can I serve? That sort of thing. Am I prepared to answer? Am I prepared with the high level and not go to my website, not share me on social media? You know what I'm saying? Like that sort of thing. Like, but really, do you have a connection with you know, the person that makes this, but also it comes with knowing who you're talking to. And a lot of times, like, you're in a space and you haven't done your, I speak about, you haven't done your research. You don't even know who you're talking to. And so, or you're asking the wrong person for the right thing. And so it's just kind of like making sure that you're doing your due diligence about your business, you know, like what's going to take your business to the next level, you know, that high level thing, but also about the room that you're in. As we enter into these amazing rooms and opportunities, who's in the room? What does the room do? You know, I'm talking to so-and-so. Do I know anything about so-and-so? You know what I'm saying? Like, do I have a point of reference? Like, can I get some understanding? So I think it's that, but we got a lot of conversation to have around this.
No, for real, because I wrote down some questions that would come to you out there. Because I love, thank you for saying, you know, being prepared. Because I wasn't. In fact, like, people were like, how can I be helpful? I'm like, oh, like, we need some volunteers. How can I be helpful? Oh, what can you mentor? How can I be helpful? Oh, you know, I wasn't even asking for connections.
Right.
I was like, oh, how can I be helpful? Oh, well, I guess, you know, we might need, you know what I mean? And I'm like, wait a minute. So I want to run down a couple questions that are signals. So how can I be helpful is one where your answer can be, I need a connection to the president of the Fortune 500 company that I, whatever. And I'm also in need of $100,000, right? Like, how can I be helpful? And so, but I want you to take that question and think, the person is asking you, how can they create meaning? How can you give me an opportunity to create meaningful impact with you? That's what that is mean. Like, whatever I want, whatever I'm going to do next it has to be meaningful. That's the kicker, right? It's not, how can I help you? Because that's what I heard. How can I help you? You can volunteer. No, that's not what they were saying. They were saying, how can I be helpful? Which is, how can I create meaningful impact with you? Another one is, how can I support you? How can I support you? If you're a founder and you hear somebody say, how can I support you? They're asking you about you. A lot of times in that moment, we do think, how can you support my company? Right? But that is a capacity question as well. That question is, how can I support you? I like you. I love what you do. My relationship is with you. That's what's coming through in that question. Right? And they're saying, and what they have through their relationship with you, what they have figured out is that if I support you, you'll figure out the other thing. So they may not get deep into doing anything with your company when they say, how do I support you? But they'll connect you, advise you, that type of thing. So responses to that is, you want to think about you. What will help you as a founder, as a leader, move forward when somebody says, how can I support you? Right? You might really need an advisor in that moment. You might really need a connection in that moment. And it's okay. You know, that's also a question where it's okay to mention funding. I think, though, what you want to make sure of is that knowing that how do I support you is about you and not about the company. So however you frame that, knowing that that's what the response that the person is looking for is, like, there's an opportunity to support you and you'll do whatever you need to do with whatever else you got going on. But, like, that person is looking at the opportunity to support you. Also know that, like, for any of these questions, it's not an immediate lead with the money either. It is a lead with relationship. So even how can I be helpful, include the money, but you want to include relating. How can I support you is also, you could include money in it, but it's also, you're including what relationship will this money have to helping you. That's how it's like, what I had to learn in the conversion, the kid, was these slight reframes around how to respond to it. Because at first, a lot of times we're just responding with our need. I need money. I need this. I need that. I need people. I need it. You know, it's like need. If you were in a place where your needs could be provided for, what would your conversation be like? That's how to think about the questions that I'm giving you right now. Right? Because essentially that person's not saying I can answer I can solve all your problems, but you have entered into a place where solutions maybe abound. Right? Solutions might be abound. So now this is not the moment to go to be such in dire need in your framing of how you talk. This is the moment to be like, if I just walked into the strawberry patch and I'm hungry, I might get pricked trying to pick one. but like, let me make some choices. Let me expand how I can think about what I can do here. And then another one that we'll get is, what do you need? And again, I think how can I support you? And what do you need? Those are similar. Those are like sister and brother to each other. They're kin to each other. So these are similar range of what that person may be able to provide. When people say, what do you need? I think that is understanding where they sit and what they can provide is about you, but it may be a little bit limited in what they can do. Like, what do you need means like, I know I can help you, right? But that's all the capacity that I have. So I think, how can I support you is a little broader and a little bigger than like, what do you need? What do you need is very direct. It's very much about you. How can I support you is very much about like, I know that if I support you, you're going to support something bigger or whatever you got going on. But like that is so minimum. It sort of like lowers the understanding of like what a person may be able to do. Like, what do you need is like you specifically. And it's like, I can do a little bit, but I can't do a whole lot. You know, so notice that. Mm-hmm. And then the last one is, what are you working on? What are you working on? When you hear people ask like, what are you working on? Or like, you know, they typically, depending on what rooms you're entering in, they're not necessarily it's not always like a direct, what do you do? I think all of these also signal a bit of relationship with you already. At least they like your vibe, or they kind of like, they're gelling with you a little bit when they get to the, what are you working on? Because what are you working on also can be bigger than just the one company you've been pitching. So, what are you working on, right? What are you working on is a moment for people to enter into a cultural fit, a values fit, a shared belief fit. What are you working on? I'm working on child adolescent development. Oh, well, I am the board member of the private school at X, Y, and Z. The word working on is for you to talk about the topic, not the company itself.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm working on clean beauty. Oh, I know the guy over at the you know what I mean? Like, what are you working on is for y'all to create shared value in the conversation in that moment. So just a few ways to think about these questions. How can I be helpful? How can I support you? What do you need? What are you working on? These all are invitations into bigger, broader conversations, and hearing them enough to know what they're signaling has been something that I had to fumble through. I didn't know at first. And so, and this is one Black woman's opinion. So I'm just sharing with y'all what my experience is. People may have other experience or other ways that they think about it. But if that's helpful at all for people to kind of get into on like, what do these things mean? Like, because people say, I'm sure to have heard people say these things, and you're answering them to the best of whatever you know to answer them. But how do we leverage and maximize the moments?
Listen, and another day we're gonna have another conversation. You know how it goes, Omi. We got so many pins on the board about things that we need to bring back, because these are really wealth building conversations. And a lot of it is things that we wish we would have known as we navigated our current spaces, right? And not that we did anything wrong, right? It's just that I wish I would have known, right? That this is what I wish but now that I do, I'm going to share as much as I possibly can so that you can have a running start when that room opens for you, because it will, right? That door will bust wide open and you're like, whoa, what happened? And part of what Omi said is being prepared. Like, a lot of times, I know I wasn't prepared for some of those rooms, right? I got invited, I went in the room and I'm like, whoa, I didn't know, right? And so now get ready, right? Because the door is going to open. So that's the thing, like, the door will absolutely open. Be ready when it does.
Yeah, and if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. I got to bring Cassandra up here because she's been waiting. So I want to make sure she's our last guest for today. I want to make sure we give her a moment. Cassandra is Cassandra Hill is a master life coach, best-selling author and speaker. Her passion is about empowering Black women to live life on their terms by leveling up their emotional, spiritual, and mental well-being. She's currently working on an initiative to give copies of the Love Letters to My Girls book to young ladies at HBCUs. The goal is to increase self-love as one of the means to eradicate the domestic violence epidemic plaguing our community. So without further ado, I'm going to end the show by talking to Cassandra Hill. Hello.
Hello, ladies.
Hello.
How are you?
I am doing great. How are you?
Good. So tell us about what you're working on. Tell us about, tell us a little bit about what you're working on.
Okay. Well, you mentioned one of the things I'm working on is the initiative with the Love Letters to My Girls book, gifting that to young ladies at 19 HBCUs. That's one of my projects. And also, I am board president of 1 in 4, which stands for 1 million madly motivated moms.
Yeah, we just had them on.
Yeah, you had my girl Tansy on.
Yes. We love that.
Yes.
Yeah. So right now we're working on developing a series that will highlight mental health and how that impacts the criminal justice system. So I'm really excited about those two initiatives.
They are amazing initiatives to be working on, and we're excited that you are actually spearheading some amazingness. Yes, we are. So tell us a little bit about your why Love Letters to My Girls. Like, why is that so important to get in the hands of our HBCU students?
Yeah, in my local community, I work with women who've experienced domestic violence, offering life coaching pro bono for these ladies. And for a lot of women, and I know even from my own personal experience of being in an unhealthy, toxic relationship, the self-love is definitely a factor. Just not having enough self-love and self-worth many times gets us to stay in relationships where we're not being valued. And the Love Letters to My Girls book, I'm one of the co-authors, but actually total 116 Black women came together to write this book. And it's about loving yourself as a Black woman, just loving. Don't we have some beautiful melanin skin, ladies? We're beautiful, we're great. However, the way this world is set up, sometimes we're made to feel less than. And so this book is to encourage us that, yes, as that melanin queen, you are beautiful. And you can imagine, I'm sure you've gotten a love letter or two along the way, right?
Along the way.
A love letter.
Yes.
And so when you read that, and if you're doing that every day for 100 days, guess what? Your confidence, that love you have for yourself, is going to explode. And that's what we want. When we look at the data for domestic violence around Black women, 45% of Black women experience domestic violence. I don't know about y'all, but that's a heck of a lot of women.
Yes, it is.
And that's who's reporting. That's who's calling the National Domestic Violence Hotline. What about somebody like me when I was in unhealthy, toxic relationships? I never called that. I'm like, man, they probably gonna think I'm crazy. I'm working in corporate and doing all that. They gonna think, oh, that's what I thought. And I'm sure there's other ladies who thought the same thing too. And so they didn't call. So that number is no telling what it really is. So it's a serious problem in our community, and I want to be part of the solution.
Well, you are being part of
it.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
What's
So,
your oh, go ahead.
oh, go ahead, homie. It's fine because we was over here chatting.
No, I was gonna say make sure we can tell people where to find you and like some of the goals around. So if you're giving the books out, is that right?
Yes, I
Okay,
am
because we
giving them
have
away.
at BGV we have HBCU chapters. So we love to figure out how to we get them. So Morgan State, NCCU, North Carolina A&T. So we love to figure out how we can get some of those to our chapters. And we just giving them away. Because where are you based?
I'm based in Arkansas.
Where did the passion for like HBCUs or HBCU girls specifically come from?
You know, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to have that HBU experience. I went to PWI for undergrad and graduate school. However, along my way of getting the education God has blessed me to have, I crossed paths with so many ladies who are HBCU graduates. And I thought, if I had known, I would have been doing my research and I would have found some HBCU to go to. So I just love the culture, absolutely love the culture. And then for an initiative like this, we're targeting Black females. I thought, why not start at HBCUs? Because HBCUs historically have laid the foundation for us to have a safe space in the world, you know. And so I thought, reach back to the institutions that create warm environments for us in the world. So yeah.
I love that. That's amazing. You're absolutely right. Most of our HBCUs are a safe space and a hub of cultural awareness for our students and provide that home away from home. So supporting Black women in those roles would absolutely be amazing as they navigate, because a lot of times I know my daughter went to a HBCU and, they are transitioning from girls to women. Like, like you send them as a girl, right? And your little baby girl. And then when you pick them up after 4 years, they are grown women and they've had, experiences. So having, like you said, that love letter, right? Where they can at least for 100 days be loved on by other Black women who have gone through that journey, right? And getting that that love and that support is amazing. So how can we stay connected with you, Cassandra?
Yeah, on all social media platforms, you'll find me under the moniker Transformation Agent for Black Women. Transformation Agent for Black Women. I'm on IG and YouTube and all the places. But if you just put in Transformation Agent for Black Women, that's the easiest way to find me wherever you're at.
I love it. You on mute, Omi.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you.
I thank you guys for the invite, and I want to thank you all really for the work you're doing with Black Girls Ventures. As I mentioned briefly, I worked in corporate, did that for a lot of years before I crossed over into entrepreneurship. And when I learned about Black Girl Ventures, I just fell in love. What you guys mentioned, mission, getting tongue tied there, but you're such an inspiration because there's so many of us who are either being pushed out of corporate or just deciding that this is not the place for me. And just having a place where we could see Black women entrepreneurship on that next level. It's encouraging and inspiring. So I want to thank y'all.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
You do the same.
You're beautiful.
And that is day 12.
Oh my God.
Day 12 of the 30-day show. We on Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. It's PST, 9 a.m. EST, and everybody in between. We are, so at Black Girl Ventures, we're doing a couple things. We got a summit coming up. And a part of that summit, I'm also going to be having a VIP experience with me. But if you go to BGV, bit.ly/BGV links, you can go and look at all the things. Donate. You love what we're doing at BGV. You want to see us continue to be around. We need your donations. Okay. Also, I'm looking for partners for the summit. I would love to actually have like a partner. It takes so the full summit is $249. And so that means like 10 tickets is like $2,500. I would love people who are willing to donate to BGV to cover tickets for entrepreneurs to come to the summit. I would love that. So I'm throwing that out there to say, if you're out there and you donate to BGV, let me know, email me or DM me on somewhere on social media, Instagram, anywhere you're watching right now, send me a DM. Instagram is probably best, at Omi Bell, or at Black Girl Ventures on any one of the platforms. Because I want to, if you down to sponsor some people to come to the summit, I would love that.
That's awesome. And they're down. They about to sponsor. I can feel it. They on their way.
You come and sponsor somebody else, or if you can't come, get your company to sponsor some folks. We would love that. So thank y'all so much for joining us. To get anything you want to leave us with, we got 4 minutes left technically.
What you say? Listen, I'm gonna leave y'all with, if you're in Baltimore, the launch pad is happening again. So we have small businesses popping up at the Baltimore Peninsula. Every 2 weeks we have a different rotation of small businesses. And so if you are in the Baltimore area, please come down and visit these amazing business owners. We have Yarmouth. Do you know we have a Black-owned olive oil company? They down there on the peninsula this week. We also have some amazing other vendors that are coming. So make sure you drop in Baltimore Peninsula. Every 2 weeks, we have a different group of small businesses popping up. So we can't wait to see you on the peninsula.
Okay. All right. I like it. All right. Well, happy Tuesday. You know what today is? Taco Tuesday. I do that every time with Skylar. Like, you know what today is? She's like,
look, I said it's Tuesday.
Right. She like Taco Tuesday. All right. Thank you guys. Shenanigans. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. All right, Takeda, I will talk to you later, girl. We're about to get up out of here.
Yes.
All right. Okay. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.